You must.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One of my favorite expressions is it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up. This episode of the Jeff Crilley Show is all about overcoming obstacles. We'll hear from a man who knows a little something about that. He got laid off in the middle of the pandemic. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, the pandemic has knocked all of us down, but many of us refuse to stay down. We get back up again. To talk about that, Jimmy J. Tran. He's one of the 40 under 40. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thanks, Jeff. It was an honor to be here.
Yes. Well, I invited you specifically not to brag about how successful you are, but to talk about the DNA of overcoming defeat. So you are now you run Code Ninjas. You have a successful investment company. But tell us about the setback that you suffered a couple of months ago.
Jeff, I think when I was in business school, one of my professors used to say, and really talk about this concept of leadership crucibles. And so those, he called them defining moments in a leadership journey, right? So it's not always about the successes. In fact, we have all heard this, but you're defined more, you learn more, you achieve more during the downturn, during your failures. And so, so we had some reorganization within my company. So January 1st, I was reporting to a new CEO. Here in Dallas, it's a large company, 100,000 plus people, we're Fortune 500. And then March rolls around, the pandemic hits. And actually, I was going to be leading some of the cost-cutting efforts, so it's kind of ironic. But things turned around, and I was part of the cost-cutting, and I was a direct report to one of our CEOs. So yes, it was a huge moment, defining moment for me, and it was a crucible, but I'm always looking ahead. And I had a number of side hustles and things I was doing, off to the side, and now they're no longer on the back burner, they're on the front. And so I'm focused on a couple of different businesses now and other things and other passions, and I'm moving forward, I'm not looking back. But I'm grateful for that experience because it's really allowed me to think about what I'm passionate about, what I want to do, what I want to achieve. And I know that, my time in, quote, corporate America isn't really the definition for me of what I want to be or what I want to succeed, what I want to accomplish. Yes. So it's really just a chapter in the book, right? So I'm moving on. Yeah.
If I remember right, I think Mark Cuban got fired from a couple of jobs, and he ended up doing okay. I want to show on the screen an article you wrote for LinkedIn that went viral. The title was, I thought, very bold. It was called I Got Laid Off and I'm Done Sugarcoating It. All right, tell us about that article, how many people have read it, and what made you write it?
Well, that article I published on LinkedIn, which I'm sure everybody is familiar with that platform, and I wrote it more honestly for myself because I had this weight of being, kind of feeling ashamed. I got laid off, right? It's almost like a dirty word, and the reality is millions of people are getting laid off right now, and it's everybody from the front line, middle management, all the way up to very senior executives. And so we're not immune to it, and I wanted to get rid of that shame for myself, but really for others as well. So I wrote it for myself to get rid of this burden that I kind of felt on my shoulders, like that I should feel ashamed. And so I did a lot of introspection and spent some time on it, and I was really nervous about releasing it, but after I released it, I mean, the floodgates kind of opened. It was reshared so many times, and tens of thousands of people read it, and
Wow.
got 1,000 likes and all that stuff. And a lot of people sent me direct messages. People that were second and third degree connections on LinkedIn, I didn't know them directly. And I had calls with some of them because we were kind of both talking about, similar experiences. Many of them had gotten laid off or were laid off in the past.
Yes.
And what I learned through all of that is that, you have to be honest with yourself, and nobody can shame you but yourself. Someone told me that last week, and I thought it was just brilliant. Don't let somebody else shame you. You know what's success is for you, and you know what shame is for you. So don't let other people define that for you, because the moment you let that happen, you lose control.
Yes.
And so, anyways, it was a very empowering moment for me to write that piece, and it was really a selfish thing for me, honestly. But the benefit of it is that it really helped a lot of people, I believe, get past uncertainty, doubts, layoffs. A lot of people are really kind of rethinking what success means at this moment, I think, in the pandemic, because they're figuring out that they don't really have to use their time as they did in the past.
Right.
That things are finite, that maybe life is uncertain, all these different deep thoughts. And so anyway, some of those deep thoughts were what I tried to release in that article.
Well, I want to talk about one of the projects you're working on right now, Code Ninjas. This is a very successful franchise all over the country. We're going to go ahead and show the website, and they can navigate from the national page to your Preston Center location. But tell us about Code Ninjas.
Sure. So we are sitting probably within 2 miles of where our flagship location will be in Dallas. And it will be in Preston Hollow at the southwest corner of Preston and Forest. So Code Ninjas is the fastest growing kids coding program in the country, and it's actually worldwide now. There's about 450 locations throughout the country, and some in the UK, Australia, and other countries. So it's out of Houston, near Pasadena. Ironically, I grew up in Pasadena.
Cool.
And came up here to study in Dallas at undergrad. But I learned about Code Ninjas, went down there, visited, and I had been really interested in becoming a small business owner for some time, and I'm fairly entrepreneurial. And so when I learned about this and learned that Code Ninjas did not have any locations in Dallas at all, I quickly signed on to be an area developer. So what that means is that I'm responsible for opening up multiple units. And so we're starting off with Preston Hollow, but we also own rights to the Park Cities, Lakewood, et cetera. So, we have a lot of opportunity in Dallas, but all of Dallas County does not have a single Code Ninjas, but they exist in Collin County, in Tarrant County, but not here in Dallas. So I'm really excited. Many people know this, but reading, writing, and arithmetic are kind of the 3 core pillars since maybe the beginning of time, for education. But quickly now, coding is emerging as a 4th critical pillar. We all know the power of technology, your platform, Jeff, the show, and social media, et cetera. It's really the future. And so what this program tries to do is get kids excited and fluent in coding. And really the moment clicked for me, I took my kids, I have 3 kids, 8, 6, and 4, to a coding class. And coding programs are very intuitive now. There's what's called block coding. There's a Scratch app that's released by MIT that's open and free. But anyways, you can code with your fingers and a laptop or a tablet, and you can make robots move and flash and back up, and you can get drones to fly in multiple directions. And so this is what our program teaches kids how to do.
I think it's brilliant, and your timing is perfect, because a lot of parents are kind of homeschooling. They're trying to figure out what to do with their little one, and I imagine the right kid would really just take to this like a duck to water.
Yes, and it's a very popular program in many communities throughout the country right now. It's a drop-in program. We make it very easy on parents. So it's once you join and become a member of Code Ninjas, you can drop off your kids and stop by the grocery store or do a workout or run errands and then come back and pick them up. The kids have fun, and it's the ninja concept. So you start off as a white belt.
Yep.
There's 9 belts, and then you end up as a black belt. And the really exciting thing is at the end of the program, kids release an app, and the app is a game on the
Cool.
App Store, and it's their app. They created it. It's all of their color, their imagery, everything is theirs, and so that's what I'm really excited about. I've been passionate about education for some time in business and small business. And so really this kind of fuses a lot of different things that I'm passionate about.
That's wonderful. Let's talk about the Dallas Business Journal's 40 Under 40 Award. And we've got the headline that they ran on their digital edition. That had to be a highlight for you, huh?
It was. And in many ways, I think coming out of this crucible and kind of leaving corporate life behind, it was a nice capstone for me, honestly, to be recognized and awarded for my contributions, at my prior company, and of course it's an honor. The folks that are part of the 40 Under 40 are all really accomplished in various ways. And another really exciting and kind of ironic thing is, I turned 40 in a couple weeks, so
You just squeaked it.
I just snuck in there. I mean, I'm 39.9, right? So I'm really excited about that, and. Ironically, my wife, Lisa, happens to work at SMU Cox, and they have never sponsored the DBJ 40 Under 40 until this year, and so it just kind of happened to be a kind of a perfect storm. But my wife was a co-presenter, and she sort of presented the award,
How
to me.
cool is that?
Yeah, so it was neat.
She must have been so proud. Well, listen, we're almost out of time for this segment, so we're going to put your website up so people can get in touch with you. CodeNinjas.com. Navigate to the Preston Center site, and you guys open when?
We are getting permits in build-out phase now,
Okay.
so I'm sure you can appreciate that.
Sure.
So it's an empty shell. We're kind of building out. It'll be late this year, early next year, depending on how things work with COVID and all that stuff.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy J. Tran. You've been a great guest, and I hope you'll come back.
Thank you so much for
You
having
bet.
me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.